Welcome to today's Sovereign Nature Initiative Tech Talk. This is a series of monthly conversations. We alternate between theory talks, art talks, and tech talks. And today's tech talk is with the Unique Network, and I'll be introducing our amazing guests and handing the presentation over to them very shortly. I'm Seth Boakley. I'm the writer in residence at Sovereign Nature Initiative, and I also like to MC and host things like this and help facilitate a conversation, I hope, with our guests today after they give their presentation. Before I do hand it over, I also want to mention that our next conversation in this series will be an art talk with the Lisbon-based multidisciplinary artists Entangled Others Studio. And this talk and presentation, which will be on February 16th, will introduce you to these remarkable artists' fascinating, beautiful, and more than human work and world. And Caitlin will be dropping a link into the chat for how to register for that next talk. And I hope you will come. They're really amazing artists. Today, though, the main event, we will be hearing from two pioneers in Web3, Unique.Network's head of Metaverse, Irina Karagyaur, and Chief Technology Officer, Gregory Zaitsev. They're going to speak on the subject, how to create and mint NFT collections to drive positive ecological change. And I'll just introduce both of them quickly and then hand it over and get out of the way. Irina is going to present first. She is the head of Metaverse growth at Unique.Network, and she focuses on establishing strategic relationships and community building to bridge the off-chain world with the Metaverse. She is a Polkadot head ambassador for Western Europe and also London's regional co-chair for the Foundation for International Blockchain and Real Estate Expertise. Her presentation will share how new ways of interacting with socio-technological innovation could help unlock the potential for resource mobilization and climate empowerment. And then we'll hear from Gregory. Greg Zaitsev was an early Web3 adopter who helped build the first large cryptocurrency index, Crypto 100, was involved in key initial research and development for NFTs, and founded Unique.Network alongside Alex Mitrovic. And Unique.Network is a next generation NFT chain on Kusama and Polkadot. Greg will speak today about a step-by-step process on how to create NFT collections and how to start marketplaces where collectors and creators can trade digital assets. So here we go. I'm going to hand it over to Irina. Let me know if you need anything from me. I'll hand it over. And also, by the way, while our guests are presenting, please feel free to put questions in the chat. I'll try to keep track of those, and then when they're concluded, we'll open it up for a conversation with those questions that you offer in the chat. All right, take it away, Irina.
Thank you so much, Seth, for presentation, and it's a great pleasure to be here today. And we're very excited about this collaboration with Sovereign Nature and the potentials of the NFTs and crypto art and social good and climate impact. So today I'm going to focus and share with you a presentation on what Unique.Network is, what we aim to achieve in the space, and most importantly, the case study that we already are actively working on, which is DigitalArt4Climate, and how we help mobilize resources, drive attention to climate crisis problem, and use digital art and NFTs for social good. So I'm just going to share my screen. So Unique.Network is a proof-of-stake scalable blockchain for composable NFTs with advanced economies. Unique.Network is built on Kusama and Polkadot, and we have created a solution, a simple solution, an advanced solution that has all the benefits that you can find in one infrastructure. So what is the problem nowadays with climate and ecology? The research from Global Footprint Network has been highlighting that the world reached its ecological footprint peak. You may be all well aware that there is a climate crisis, but since 2014, our footprint actually decreased by 1.1% compared to 2013. So actually, by creating awareness and taking action, we are improving our footprint on the planet and impact on environment. And since global warming became mainstream, all the levels of society have been taking action. You can see it through different applications. You can see it through advertisement and awareness campaigns, and as well as big big companies are also taking into consideration different measures to help decrease the levels of global warming. And we all need to collaborate and work together if we really want to achieve the goal of holding global warming well below 2 degrees relative to pre-industrial levels. So there was, if we look at a very brief history of NFT art, there was a boom of NFT art and NFT minting that began in December 2021. In December 2020. So throughout 2021, we've been seeing a lot of collections being minted, collectibles, and really sort of unconscious minting of everything that could be potentially minted on the blockchain. This happened due to several factors. One of them was the DeFi summer of 2020 brought a lot of liquidity and attention to crypto industry. So there was, say, extra liquidity, and people just had a freedom to experiment and create things that they could turn into digital ownership and digital assets. There is still a big question of the value of everything that's been minted during that period, and only time will show the real value of existent NFT collections. But most importantly, what artists like Joanil Mercier discovered is a huge environmental impact that minting had. And here we have a graph and studies from Joanil, and I recommend everybody who is interested in more sort of in-depth dive into the proof of work blockchains to visit his website and to read his stories. So he's a very crypto conscious creator who's been saving electricity in his studio and living very conscious life, having conscious consumption in his personal life as well as work. And then when he minted his first NFT collection, he realized that by only minting 6 NFTs, the amount of electricity he consumed in 10 minutes was almost equivalent to the electricity consumption of his entire studio in a year, which was devastating. And here we have some number of the energy usage using the example of 72 transactions. It's equivalent of EU resident electricity consumption for 2.5 years, 55 hours flying, using a laptop for 80 years. So the impact is really huge. And after these studies being published, a lot of artists actually realize that it's not the way to go forward and something needs to be done about minting, as well as companies, blockchains that are using proof of work acknowledge that there must be an alternative way. So what we can consider clean NFT and what is exactly the problem? The problem is the proof of work blockchains that are using consensus mechanism that is very energy consuming. So the challenge that crypto industry needs to move to proof of stake pure blockchains or layer 2 on Ethereum blockchain to save electricity. And NFTs are, if we shift from the paradigm of proof of work to proof of stake, we basically reduce our energy consumption when minting NFTs by 99%. So what happens, like what is the mechanism of proof of stake and proof of work? We're using validators. So in proof of stake, the cost of every validator is a solid and secure hardware and infrastructure that they use, and they don't need to use a lot of computational power and electricity for that. So in proof of stake, the capital required is only about 0.1% of the network value as compared to 6.5% of network value required each year to maintain a proof of work blockchain. And Unique.Network is a proof of stake blockchain based on Polkadot and Kusama. And apart from having, say, an advantage of being ecological by default and having very, very low cost of transaction, which I'm going to discuss in a minute, it also gives another opportunity of actually being more scalable more advanced and more flexible in terms of economies and applications that can be built on a blockchain. So we've done a little in-house, say, calculation of the electricity consumption of Ethereum compared to Unique.Network, which is a proof-of-stake blockchain. So I'm going to dive a little bit into numbers. We took as an example one collection, very famous collection, minted on Ethereum. And the assumption is that Ethereum energy consumption per year is roughly 107 terawatt hours. This corresponds to 2,254,114 blocks. Mining of one block consumes a little bit over than 47 million watt hours. This corresponds to 15 to 30 million units of gas in Ethereum. In other words, one gas unit costs 1.559 watt hours. So one NFT from Ethereum collection transaction cost would be approximately 90,179 of gas. So after multiplying it at the full load of the block, and Ethereum does not always fill its blocks completely with transactions. After the London updates, blocks can wait from 15 to 30 million gas. In other words, a similar transaction at partial lot will cost 133 times 2, which leads us to 286 kilowatt hour. But it will take the best, we took for this calculation, the best option for Ethereum, which is a full load. So 133 kilowatt hour, or approximately 68 kilogram of carbon dioxide, the average weight of an adult. So if we do the same calculation for Unique.Network, we will take in consideration that one collator or validator that is running, that is supporting our network, so he's running on cloud hardware. It's similar to a machine like Intel 6700K with 64 giga of RAM, which is a pretty standard machine. There will be approximately 30 collators in total, which are served by up to 10 Kusama validators. The power of one collator validator machine is approximately 250 watt. So in other words, is one block, soon it will be 6 seconds, and it consumes 0.42 watt per hour. And all 40 machines consume 16.8 watt per hour. One unique network block at full capacity can include approximately 6,000 NFT transfer transactions. In other words, one transaction requires 2.7 milliwatt of energy of 1.3 gram of microgram of carbon. So if we compare this on Ethereum, we have 68 kilograms of dioxide or carbon dioxide, in Unique.Network 1.3 microgram of carbon. And for comparison, a person exhales 40 micrograms of carbon per exhalation, 30 times more than Unique.Network parachain produces in NFT transaction. So this is pretty fascinating to understand the huge difference, and that is more than 60 times more energy consuming to mint on proof of work blockchains. Another aspect I want to briefly cover here is how do we actually, once we resolve the problem of energy consumption, which on Unique.Network is by default not a problem, because we are clean by default, by architecture, and by the way we work. How do we actually help factually climate action? It's been very interesting journey for me personally, and I'm very grateful that we have met Miroslav Polzer, the founder of Glocha, and the founder of DigitalArt4Climate Initiative. So their aim was to mobilize resources to drive attention and awareness about climate action, and also mobilize young people and help them to have a voice on an international level, and also help financially specific organizations on the ground, such as UN Habitat in Kenya, that are often underfinanced, and we may think of larger organizations like, very powerful, having a lot of resources, but in reality, it's heavily under-resourced, and this is the problem Digital Art for Climate is addressing to the world, that actually there is no such central power and central magic that can help us mobilize and take action towards climate crisis. We need to do it ourselves. And we found a very beautiful way of doing it through digital art, through giving the opportunity and voice to artists all over the world who could submit their artwork in an art competition, and we presented art competition results and selected entries at COP26 in Glasgow last year. And I would like to just show you quickly a 2-minute video and just show you the image and the really beautiful impact of this initiative.
Hi, I'm Anna Dar from Exquisite Workers, and I'm absolutely delighted to be invited to speak at COP26. In a challenging year for so many, we are excited to introduce you the results of the art competition for climate change led by the Digital Art for Climate. We hope the stories of the artists from all over the world can inspire us to forge new and deeper connections with ourselves and others and the planet Earth. 208 applications are received from 58 countries to inspire climate change. All sorts of media represented: digital and animated artworks, digitized watercolor, oil, acrylic works, mural paintings, collage art, generative art, films and dance, installations and voice, jewelry, fabrics, even magic tricks. 30 finalists which make COP26 collection come from Morocco, Iran, Serbia, US, Mexico, Switzerland, Russia, Philippines, Australia, UK, Spain, China, India, Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, Guatemala, Canada, Kenya, Chile, France, Slovenia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine. The youngest artist finalist is only 10 years old. Submissions introduce deep awareness and understanding of the climate urgency, personal, original, and creative responses to climate change, displayed a high level of technical art skills, and showcase interesting approaches and emerging new talent. We are blessed with having the opportunity to impact our world with the transformational power of art and eco-friendly blockchain technology together. We're excited that all 30 of the finalist pieces are meant to become the clean NFTs, and they exhibited in Glasgow at the United Nations Climate Change Conference UK 2021, as well as in the major United Nations offices around the world. We're all in tears of joy announcing the winners, sponsored by Glotcha and Unique.Network as a result of the art competition and the open public voting. Nexus by Brix Martillo Dumas from the Philippines has been declared the winner of the Digital Art for Climate art competition and awarded €1,500. The second place winners awarded with €500 include Every Second Lake by Amir Karimi from Iran, The Wildfire by Eka from France, Chloe Hajar from the US, Allegory of Survival. Digital Art for Climate also grants Unique.Network tokens to all finalists, as well as the special invitation to the curated platform of Exquisite Workers. Next, our special €500 award is issued to Matara Roots Graffiti Girls Mango Kubo Young Mothers for the mural artwork Team Spirit from Kenya. Congratulations, all participants, all the finalists and the winners. Thank you so much, and see you next year. Hi, I'm Anna Dar.
Sorry. So this initiative really attracted attention of many organizations and many individuals across the globe. And our winner, Brix, he was featured at local at CNN Philippines, and he sort of became a national hero for driving attention, and he shared very touching personal story about the climate crisis that he personally experienced and natural disaster that happened in Philippines. And actually, we've all seen what happened in Philippines quite recently. And by supporting this initiative, we're very happy that we not only a technological partner, but sort of a facilitator of this network of bringing people together, of driving this change through blockchain technology. And what we did, we basically gave what we call essential features, our white label solution, to a small organization that had, and this had very powerful impact, because by using marketplace, by using what we offer in terms of sustainable NFT maintained on a proof of stake blockchain with minimal carbon footprint, in terms of user experience, and many more features that we're actually going to implement on DigitalArt4Climate marketplace that is going live in first quarter 2022. We also reached out to many people, and many more conscious crypto artists reach out to us for the opportunity to have a voice and to be able to participate in our upcoming initiatives within the DigitalArt4Climate marketplace. And really, truly, everybody can have the opportunity to put together this marketplace as a small company, and everybody will have the opportunity to mint collection. And that said, I'm giving a word to Greg, our CTO, who will present a hands-on workshop on actually minting this collection. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. I'm gonna hand it over to Greg. You're on.
All right.
Thank you so much, Irina, again.
I'm on.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Seth. Thanks, Irina. Yeah, let's get the hands on saving the planet and minting the less power consuming NFTs. And this is, well, I purposely left here in the title that we can mint a collection in 30 minutes, although I really count on spending a little more time than that, because I'm gonna go through every nitty-gritty step, and every small hurdle you may have is gonna we're gonna stop in there. And if you have a capability right now, I would really recommend following this along. Or I believe this video is recorded. Maybe it's going to be published somewhere, so it's you can do it later if you wish. But this time it's better to follow, because clearly you can have questions as I go, and we can resolve problems in live mode. Yeah, like Irina said, we're very green. We produce, in one transfer, we produce the equivalent amount of what a human, well, actually not in one, in 30 transfers, we produce what a human produces in one exhalation. It's amazing. It's compared to the human weight that an Ethereum transaction produces. So how we reach this efficiency? First of all, yes, this is we are a proof of stake blockchain, and it's even better. The Kusama is proof of stake blockchain, and we are a parachain on top of Kusama that is proof of stake. We are using their security mechanisms, and they are underlying blockchain for us to provide our security and consensus. And we are only a small addition to Kusama. We utilize Kusama today. I believe it has 1,000 of validators, and its capacity is 100 parachains, 30 of which are going to be some 70 parachains are going to be business parachains or some applications, and 30 are miscellaneous tools or something. We don't know yet what they're going to be, because there's only one state mine at this point. But so maximum capacity is 100. So that means we're served by only a fraction of what Kusama network consumes. It's serving us, and it's very small portion. It's only 1/100th of the whole power consumption, and we only add up to 30 kiloliters. So, but it's not the only reason. Being a state proof of stake power chain is not only reason why we are so power efficient. We also have a thing called native minting, or actually native NFT functionality, because it's not only minting, it's all operations that you might think of. And by native, I mean the optimization of our blockchain for NFT procedure, for NFT functions. If you create NFT, it's created in the code that was specifically written to mint NFTs, not handle smart contracts like in Ethereum or on other smart contract-based networks. We do have smart contracts. We allow, like other networks, we allow deploying Solidity smart contracts so that applications can feel comfortable. Application developers can feel comfortable using full flexibility of a Turing complete machine on Ethereum. But if you'd like to use some standard functionality like ERC 721 or ERC20, you can use it in our native palettes, which is much more efficient because we carry all code into one library, and we avoid copying and pasting, and we store all data in small structures, which are more efficient, way more efficient than storing the data in smart contract data. And so that's how we reach efficient. And after all, we are writing this code in Rust and compiling it so that it's way more efficient. And of course, we support MetaMask and other Ethereum tools. If you deploy a native NFT collection on Ethereum and then expose it to MetaMask, it won't even guess that it's talking not to Ethereum. It will. We are emulating the ERC 721 completely, so that MetaMask and other tools can interact with it through ERC 721 interface. What you need to know to go through this workshop? It's really not much. You need Ubuntu OS, though I've seen people doing this on Mac and other Linux distributions also, but that's what we tested with. Node.js 16 or up, that's requirement. Image editor, I don't really have an image editor on my PC, but I have a graphical designer. I cheated, but yeah, image editor is well, it's just a suggestion that it's really hard to design something good without an image editor, and you need to know how to use Git. So that's all. That's not much, really not many requirements. We've seen people with almost no skills passing through this workshop. And but of course, it's a good idea to have some programming skills if you want to design something more robust, some more interesting application, to build in some interesting logic, of course. But you can start with really small things. Okay, so let's get to the workshop. I think it's my last. No, it's okay. So I'm gonna go to this GitHub repository now and use it. Use my own README in there. Here's my repository. I already pre-checked it out, but it's really simple to check this out. I'm gonna say git clone and then paste whatever code I have in here. It's open repository like this, and it clones the repository, and then you can use it from the master branch. And if you want to start with it, go do README, which is displayed on the home page of this repository. And just follow this. I'm going to show. Well, I'm not going to show. This is a image pack that we borrowed from someone. This is, but it's really simple. It's designed to combine faces out of different parts. It has eyes, brows, nose, hair, and smile. And when you put it all together, you get a face. Basically, I have my images in here already. So if let's say head, it's only one head. Here's the mouth, and here's the my cursor, nose. So we have different things here to combine. What's important here, we need to describe these traits. Technically, NFTs are going to be generated even if we don't, but it's going to be more fun because it's always fun to see what kind of traits your image has when you look at this in the wallet. And this is how we do it. So there is a file called attributes. If I open it, you see it contains several lines here. So if you don't need JavaScript, it's okay because it's really simple to follow this. It's very many programming languages use this notion of square brackets to designate an array, and what comes in curly brackets is an object. So the object here contains 1, 2, 3, 4 keys. The first key is a name, and it needs to match. You see, so I have a name of head, and it needs to match of what we have here in the prefix of the file. Head1 means head image for this trait, and it only has one, so it won't count. There is only one head that's possible here, and I called it regular head. But a regular head is what contained here in head. Oops, sorry, in head1 here. Similarly, I have 3 types of eyes, and the attribute names. So they go through 1, 2, and 3. Let's see what kind of eyes are these. So here's eyes. I1. It is. I called it just regular, normal eyes. Then the type number 2 is going to be tired eyes. Let's see. See, they're really tired. And number 3 is bruised eyes. It's like tired for many years. Okay. And yeah, the collection is called Workaholics. That's why, so that you don't, you see, you know what we're talking about here. So, and same thing happens with brows, nose, hair, and mouth. Required key means they're all required. If you put false here, it's okay, but it means that some workaholics are not going to have eyes. I don't really want this, so that's why I put everywhere I put true here. And that's all. So that's all how we describe this. Let's see what next. Okay. Next thing is going to be really fun. We need to prepare the substrate address with seed. And if you have not installed the Polkadot extension, I recommend you do install it because it's the extension that every Polkadot project uses. Anyway, so I already have it installed. So that's I will skip this part, but it's there's a link here in the README file where you can go and install it. Chrome browser and Firefox support it today. None of the browsers, other browsers support it.
Excuse me, Greg. Hey,
Yeah?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I know we've a couple people
sure.
raising their hands, and I want to also just acknowledge, like, we've gotten pretty deep into the technical part of kind of a proper workshop for how to create NFT collections, exactly as you promised. I want to just acknowledge as well, some people calling in, don't have all of the technical expertise, I think, to follow some of these steps. I think it would be great if you can continue with it, but also maybe in a few minutes we could maybe pause on it and like sort of zoom out to talk a little bit more about the application of these these collections as they apply to this ecological change philosophy and approach that you guys are taking. Again, I think there's a lot of people on the call who would love this step by step, but if it's possible to kind of move a little bit quickly over it so we can have that kind of group conversation about where we apply these collections towards this bigger theme. Is that all right?
Okay, yeah. Then let me just speed up on this. Maybe we can change the strategy here, and instead of everyone trying to follow along, I can quickly step through, and then we have a conversation.
Cool. That would be amazing. Thank you, Greg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. No problem. Yep. Sure. And yep. In that case, let's jump quickly to the most interesting part. So I'll create the account here. Here as the seed phrase. I'm going to destroy it after this workshop, but this is a burned seed phrase by now because the video is recorded. Please don't use this. Don't. And I'm gonna. Oops. Name NFT workshop. Okay. So the NFT, where is it? NFT workshop. Here's the account. And if you want to get some test network tokens, opals, go to the unique faucet opal bot and paste your account here. But it shows. Actually, I can hear my echo. Somebody's. Can you mute it, please? So it's executing the transaction, and in a few moments, I have a balance here on my account. See here. And I need to refresh. I get nice amount of. Here it is. I get 1,000 opals. That's quite enough to create an create collection. Okay. Now I put it here in the. Oops, I think I didn't save it. That was really dumb of me. I'll have to recreate my account. Okay. NFT workshop 2. Okay. And I'll refresh and transfer the tokens in there. Send. Oh, sorry. Before I do that, I'll save the seed. There we go. Okay. I'll transfer to NFT workshop 2. And I don't need any checks. I'll transfer the full amount. Okay. Now I have some balance in here. So, and I configured this address in here. So owner seed. This is the address that's going to own the collection. Now let's do the next thing. So configure collection owner seed. That's what I just did. Generate NFT properties. npm install node NFT generator. That's I need. I did the npm install before. So I'm just going to run the NFT generator. Okay, it says the possible combinations are 405, but I was really asking for only a few. I was asking for 20. Let's see what it generated. Images. Sorry. Weird. Don't have generated. Sorry, it's it worked. Let's try again. npm. Generator. generated NFTs. If it doesn't work, I'll just create the folder. Let's try again. And NFTs JSON. It's always that something doesn't work. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna switch to my ambassador program NFTs and show what really is generated. We have these. It generates this array. Oh, for some reason they got in here. See, I don't really understand how it did work this way, but it worked this way for some reason. It doesn't want to generate NFTs in the proper folder. Instead of it generated them in. Oh, it's all right. Whatever way it works for the workshop. So here are the arrays of NFT properties. Each small array means certain properties, attributes. They're combined in random order: random head, random eye. Well, there's only one head, but random eye, random brow, nose, and so on. Well, let's generate NFT images. I already pre-configured this, so all I need to do is run node image generator. And it started generating my images here. See, it's populating images. Oops. Here's number 1. Number 2, they're all different. They're all unique.
Nice.
Okay, so just as NFTs should be. And as soon as it finishes, well, I'm not gonna really show how to host images on IPFS because they're all hosted already. And we can use the reuse actually the IPFS schema or IPFS hash that we've been using before. IPFS gateway here, I think. There it is. So we've generated this collection before for testing purposes. We are not sharing it with anyone. We're only using it for our own internal use, but that's IPFS gateway. That's our own IPFS gateway that we're using to host these images. And normally, how you would do this is when you go to the next step here, creating collection. That's what we need to configure here in off-chain schema. Off-chain schema tells the collection where the images are located. And instead of placing this URL here, you replace this IPFS hash with what you get, and you replace this localhost with your IPFS gateway of your choice, and it starts magically working. The wallet will display the NFTs. So in order to mint collection, create collection, we need to run node create collection. I won't do this right now because we well, it's just pretty much automatic. Nothing fun will happen, and we already have generated it before this workshop. And minting NFTs is executed by node create items. So this is really quick. And I will, instead of doing this, I will just rather show how to see this in the wallet. I'm going to use Unique.Network wallet, and it will connect in a moment. All right. And you see, I already have collection of workaholics here. These are just some items I have. The rest of them are being used for our internal testing. Let's see let's look at one of them. Actually, you know what I think? Oh yeah, and here's the collection name. Here's the ID of the collection, and here's the description. This guy also has attributes. Here it is. We just didn't see them right away. It has a name, and it has traits. That's what we've been writing here. What kind of eyes, what kind of brows, and so on. So he has regular head, bruised eyes, grayish brows, and so on. So you see all attributes, they were used, first they were used to combine this picture, and second, they made it here to traits, so that when you look at this in your wallet, you see these traits in the text description, you can use it. And he has a name. This is just a text field that you could put in there. Now, I'm gonna skip to the very end and just to speed this up, but I still would like to show one thing. Because, sorry? Say again?
No worries, Greg. I think that was an inadvertent interruption. Please continue.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's okay. Yep. So the transaction sponsoring is that what I'd like to show you. So here's the little demo for this. Normally, when people work with when people use a network, a blockchain network, they need to have certain amount of cryptocurrency in order to transfer. Like, for example, this guy, my QTZ collection owner, he has 4,000 quartz, and of course I can send, using this account, I can send NFTs anywhere, but collection, but the sponsoring is the fun thing that we actually, well, I shouldn't say invented, but we are certainly one of the first networks in Polkadot ecosystem who implemented this. So let me choose one of the new accounts. Let's say it's NFT workshop, that one. I'm gonna send, or no, you know, I'm gonna use the other one, a demo that doesn't have, no, it still has, let's find some. Maybe that one doesn't have any quartz. Okay, this account doesn't have any quartz. Okay, I'm gonna send it to this account now. And let's see, here's my guy. I'm gonna see the send button now and use it. Oh, not that one, QTZ collection owner, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna send it to my other account. Yeah, go ahead, okay. And now I'm gonna use, so it's AAAA12. The block time is 12 seconds for now, so that's why we have to wait a little bit. So
this is
the average wait time is
music again, the Sovereign Nature Initiative signature theme music. If anyone here is a composer of theme songs, please reach out.
Yeah, we need that's fun. We need to include it. Okay. And now I'm gonna try to transfer it back. QTZ collection owner. So yeah, see this address owns this NFT, and I'm gonna try to send it back. I have to admit, I don't know if sponsoring is enabled for this, but probably no. You see, I get this error, invalid transaction, inability to pay some fees. That means that I have not enabled sponsoring for this. So as a normal user, I would be really confused at this point. Well, as a blockchain user, I will understand what this means. If I was a blockchain enthusiast, I know that, okay, yeah, of course I need the network currency in order to use the transaction. But as a Web2 user, I will be really confused. Why do I need to own something to transfer an NFT that I already own. It's confusing, it's frustrating, and I'm gonna show you how to save users from this frustration. Some and parachains. I'm gonna switch here to.
Can I ask a quick question while you're doing that, Greg? What is being shown by this transfer? If I can ask a very naive question, like what is the purpose of showing this particular transfer?
I'm showing how to transfer NFTs without network currency.
Gotcha.
So it's sponsoring means somebody pays my network fees. If I was a normal Web2 user, I would get I would get frustrated that I need to own network token. Like you can't transfer a crypto pirate on Ethereum without owning Ethereum, and that's not fair towards normal users or Web2 users. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how this is done. Really, really simple. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna sponsor set collection sponsor. There it is. So collection is number 5, I believe. Let's see, what's the collection is 5, and get to the collection owner, and I'm gonna be its sponsor. By enabling sponsoring, we remove that friction, so people can use the Web2. The application developers can really hide the fees, the network fees from their users. Of course, they can monetize later to return these fees, but in order to just onboard users, that's going to be very handy for them, especially when it comes to game development. If you've heard of term the freemium gaming, that's what we're trying to enable here. When people don't need to pay anything in order to play, or at least to start playing. And I confirm sponsorship now. Collection 5 again. Elevator music. Ta-da.
I'm not a good enough scat jazz singer to attempt it. Need to take some lessons. Thank you, Greg, and I just want to acknowledge we are coming up on our hour in a few minutes. So thank you.
Okay.
I know you still have a couple of steps here, but I know folks have some questions, so I just wanted to acknowledge that.
All right, sure. Yep. Then all I have left is just to send this button, to push the send button, and it's gonna work now. But yeah, go ahead with the questions.
Yeah, no, I want to say too, please wrap up and thank you so much for and don't feel rushed to do so. I think when we wrap up the presentation part, I do think we'll have about half an hour for questions. So there's no rush here at all. But I just also want to thank you and Irina for the amazing insight into what you do, and just as a kind of naive person from the outside to NFTs, like I love watching you work. It's like a little bit of a magic trick, Greg, to watch you do all of this. As Irina said, generative art creation in action. And I want to mention as well, just because I know we will continue to talk for a little bit longer, but I know some folks jumped off. I want to mention as well that Sovereign Nature Initiative is partnering with Unique.Network as part of a new initiative that is actually a creative writing competition. I was mentioning in the chat some poetry things, and that's partly because that's where I come from. But I'm really eager to see how we work together on this this new initiative. We'll put a link to it in the chat, but it's called Nature Speaks, and it's a creative writing competition. Some of you know about, asking folks to write sort of nature-centric poetry and then and prose and ideas sort of in literary form, and then we're going to make them into an NFT, the winners of that competition into an NFT with Unique.Network. So I'll be really eager to see how we do that and how we create that kind of marketplace for nature-centric creative writing using your network. Anyway, that was a little bit of a digression, but please continue, and then we will open it up to questions from our guests.
Oh, right. So, but sorry, as you were speaking, I already ran the transaction. Actually, I wasn't patient enough. You see that the original owner, the NFT returned to original owner, and I didn't need to have any quartz tokens. So, as a normal user, as a Web2 user, I'm really happy now because I received NFT and I transferred this NFT somewhere else, and I didn't need to go to the any exchange, any crypto exchange, register there, pass KYC, or give them my credit card to buy quartz tokens. I didn't need to go through all of it, through any of it. I just transferred my NFT somewhere where I needed. So I focused on the on the actual thing I needed to do. Well, and I'll wrap it up here. Oops. So here's some info about some connection, some contact information, and I'm open to questions.
Thank you so much, Greg. Why don't you leave that up for a little bit, and we can also put those links in the chat. But thank you so much, Greg, and I hope you didn't feel too rushed. I did really appreciate like seeing you do that whole that whole thing, and I know a lot of us in this call will want to go back, and like I really appreciate the chance to record that as well, because I know many of our guests today will want to go back and look at what you walked us through and follow that path. It's really an amazing proof of stake and how we can make NFTs in a more let's say with a minimal carbon footprint compared with some of those other ways that you mentioned. So it's a really powerful set of tools that you've offered today, and I so appreciate you walking us through all of that. Yeah, I do want to open up questions from folks. Pavel wrote, Greg, from a developer perspective, what are key differences from developing NFTs on Ethereum? For example, apart from JavaScript, you need to write the contract itself. So in Ethereum, you use Solidity. And what do you use on Unique?
In order to put together a plain NFT, just no application logic behind, all you need to do is run a couple of transactions, and you can run them here in this UI mode. This is built by Polkadot, or just look at this. Oops, sorry, I opened something. Look at this file that says create collection and create items. It's JavaScript code. It's using API to connect to our network, and it runs a couple of transactions to do that. We don't need to write any code, or you may need to write very little code according to this, all by this workshop. But its code is written in JavaScript, and you don't put any of this code or any of this logic on chain. It's only using the on chain logic that's already built in. And if you want to build in some custom logic, then it's plain Solidity. It's nothing different from Ethereum, except transaction fees, of course, and carbon footprint.
Great, yeah, thank you. And then Patrick just asked, can you explain Unique.Network's place in using sustainable practices in creating NFTs? I guess in a sense, what is your place in this sort of larger ecosystem?
I can probably take that question actually, because this is so where we are, right? There's a number of proof of work networks, and the major platform is Ethereum, is an infrastructure. So Unique.Network is an infrastructure. A lot of artists and a lot of things that were minted in NFT space were minted on Ethereum at the beginning of time, simply because there was no alternative. And fairly recently, like Unique.Network went live on Kusama last month. So there was no opportunity for artists or startups to use Unique.Network as a proof of stake infrastructure for minting of large collections, because today Greg showed you generative art and how it is done under the hood and what the artist and the web developer will do together in order to create this collection that may contain 10,000 pieces, 20,000 pieces, and so-called collectibles that we see now on marketplaces. And you can check Unique.Network's marketplace with our first collection, Substrate, and second collection, Cello Bricks, that was distributed to the community. And then what is needed to be done with these collectibles is create use cases for them. So put them into game, and we are actually looking for startups, developers, and game developers who will take this 2D collection and make it something more, give it more utility, and create a game around it. Because we are all in the NFT space kind of, are looking for the next thing to happen. And here is, in a bigger picture, Unique.Network as an infrastructure offers advanced features like what Greg just showed, sponsorship of transaction fees. You know that the biggest problems, for example, within the network, like a DAO that provides education for artists and wants to send you free NFT, and then wants to allow you to exchange these NFTs between the artist community for X, Y, or Z reason, they cannot do it because it's not free. If you mint this on proof of work network, if you mint this on Ethereum, you would have to pay gas fees. And oftentimes they're very, very expensive. It can go up to $1,400 per transaction. And I've seen artists needing to postpone their NFT drop because of the gas price. So this does not happen on Unique.Network, because sending NFT tokens inside of your platform on the network can be free. What Greg just demonstrated, that you can enable sponsorship of transaction fees and you can just exchange tokens for free. And there are many more other features, like for gaming needs freemium. So the same, you sponsor transaction fees. So in the game, players can exchange their assets or perform any other action without the need to think about the blockchain and jumping out of the gaming platform and going into a wallet, sending tokens, paying for transactions, going back into the game. So what we're doing, we're removing all these complexities of the blockchain and just giving the end user the experience, because as a buyer, as a user of the wallet, what you would see is the image, send button, and then you send it, you receive it. That's pretty much all you interact with during transition of tokens from your wallet to the platform and back. Also, we have scheduling that will help games automate some in-game transactions, and many, many more cool features that we'll be releasing this year to make NFT experience more advanced and more fun and have more utility for NFTs.
Lovely. I wanted to also follow up on a question from earlier in the conversation. Michael was asking about the carbon dioxide ratio used for the calculation. And I wonder if you can clarify, Michael, like which aspect of that you were asking about? Was it the kind of initial calculations that Irina ran us through in the first part of the presentation? Or I wonder what aspect of clarification you're looking for. If you don't mind too, Greg, if you wouldn't mind stopping screen share, it's just nice to see more faces, because then also I think we can have a little bit more of a casual conversation too. It's sure. Also, I just like to, thank you so much. I love, I like seeing the faces. And yeah, Michael, if you want to maybe even unmute yourself and ask that question, or if other folks have questions they want to just jump in, unmute, or pop in the chat to follow up with Irina and Greg, please go for it. And you're getting a lot of appreciation in the chat too, Irina and Greg. This has obviously already been incredibly useful and helpful.
Hi. My question was in regards to, there was two units. One was the energy usage and the other was the CO2 emissions. And I'm just wondering what was the actual ratio used to measure the CO2 emissions? Because if it was powered by 100% renewable energy in Iceland, that unit would probably be 0, right? So I'm just wondering which country did you use or which ratio you used? It's just that question. Did that make sense?
Yep. Yeah. It's. I should answer that. It's an average. I took. I didn't. It's not a research. I did take some a few numbers online and took an average of that. If you're interested in more particular numbers, I can, or facts, I can refer to links I've been using, or actually there is a research that's been done, and I believe they're using the average average as well.
Okay, yeah, it'd be nice to see.
Thanks.
Sure, I'll
Also,
post it in a chat.
like in terms of research, we began collaboration with several research institutes. You can actually look at, for example, Tezos blockchain studies, where they show emissions or use of electricity. All of this is relevant to pretty much all proof of stake blockchains. The exact numbers vary very insignificantly, but the major message here is that proof of stake blockchains are 60 times less energy consuming than proof of work blockchains. And of course, that depends, like if you are using completely renewable energy, there are many ways in which we can improve proof of work blockchains. If we completely switch, mining to using sustainable green energy, that will absolutely change the game. There are many things, there are many angles to this discussion of clean solutions, but proof of stake is already here. There are many functional blockchains that operate on proof of stake, including Unique.Network, and that offers you minting large NFT collections and is really the next level of infrastructure. What we are aiming to achieve in Web3 space is to change the internet fundamentally, right? To gain ownership of our assets, to empower creative economy, to let artists and creators be the owners of their own platforms, not like centralized platforms where they put out content, but they have no ownership of that content and they have no control. And ourselves as end users, we use social media platforms, we use different websites, and our data is being used by someone, and we have no visibility who uses it and how it's used most of the time, and we have no ownership and control on the monetization of the data being used. So there are many layers of why we're building Web3 economy, why it is important, and like why it needs to be green, because there are many transactions happening on chain. It will be, I do believe that we will tokenize eventually everything we have in the real world and use NFTs as certificate, proof of ownership of real estate, certificate for like luxury goods, in-gaming items, everything you see in the metaverse now, like digital twins, they will also be tokenized and traded. So all this is really gaining its space, and we need to make sure that all this amount of transactions is actually green, and we can support this infrastructure and it's not damaging our planet. That's kind of my core message about Web3.
Just a question to follow up right on that, Irina and Greg, which is in a sense, I come from the world of the arts, and of course I'm excited always when I feel that like digital artists, some of whom are on this call today, are kind of leading the way and kind of pioneering in some sense these marketplaces and determining and creating value, and there's a lot of exciting conversations in the art world about things like royalties and kind of how artworks continue to be attached to their creator in a very different way than they do in the visual art world, where when you sell a painting or something, it's just gone and you have no relationship to it anymore. But I'm curious actually for both of you to sort of maybe talk a little bit more about, you just spoke, Irina, about the different kinds of marketplaces and tokens that might exist in the future. What do you think is the next phase? Like what are the marketplaces you're excited about beyond art, or which marketplaces are you focused on in a sense now? What do you think is coming next?
Oh, many things. I think Greg can talk about this and about different formats that we're planning to support. But for example, music is the industry that is just discovering NFTs, and we have not seen many use cases in music industry because we've seen collectibles, we're seeing digital art discovering the benefits of NFTs. Movie industry, often NFTs are used as fundraiser or as resource mobilization, like we did with DigitalArt4Climate. To drive awareness to the cause, to really give, because for me also the very powerful tool as a wallet is that element of peer-to-peer transaction that before, you needed to, if an artist raises money, he will need to go through many intermediaries, but now you can send tokens or stable coins directly to the artist, directly to his wallet. So you can make sure, and he can then transparently tell you how he used the funds. If it was, if the aim was to fundraise for making a song or making a movie, that can actually be very transparent now by the means of blockchain, by using blockchain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Greg, any other thoughts on that? Or
yep. Yeah, actually, we're about to support also NFT structures or the nested NFTs. That's it's very fun. We're seeing very fun applications like Remark, when a canary can own things. One NFT can own other NFT. That's interesting format. Also, conditional rendering or interactive NFTs are one of the next things to explore. When you can not only see the NFT, but you can interact with it, and it will depend on some conditions, like who owns NFT. It will depend. I mean, it will behave differently depending on who owns it, what time of day, what weather it is, or whatever. So yeah, and of course we support. Well, we don't support yet, but it's in a pipeline. We're going to support 3D models.
Cool. I love thinking of a non-fungible thing being somehow fungible, but not, but through the weather or the time of day, or not necessarily in the way that we would, think about it in the NFT world, but like how those seemingly stable objects might also have their own inner life in some way. That's quite exciting to think about, especially in connection with what we do at Sovereign Nature Initiative, trying to think about digital twins and representation of natural elements that may be responsive, exactly as you suggest, to time of day or weather, or in some sense be reflecting both data and also kind of the real world time and conditions in which those real things are living and enduring. That's very exciting. Cool. Thank you for sharing those kind of visions of the medium range future. That's really exciting. The music thing too, and also love thinking about how Web3 is taking up where Web2 left off in some sense. The Kickstarters and the Venmos of this world, leading us to a world of even greater peer-to-peer fluidity, and as well as transparency in terms of how artists support one another and are supported in their own work. Things like musicians. I know that would be really radical and revolutionary for a lot of my musician friends. Maybe the one who comes up with our elevator music theme song. Any other questions from the group for our esteemed guests?
If I may also briefly add to use cases, basically because we're infrastructure and we are sort of Intel inside the NFT space, right? You can have Unique and you can build anything you want. And what we are looking for is innovative teams, creative teams, different way of thinking to tell us what do you need in terms of technology, because technology is already here and it's very advanced, and Greg can do magical things and create very exciting architectural solutions for blockchain, but creator has to tell us how to apply this blockchain to his creative thinking, to his piece of art. And once more artists and more musicians and filmmakers will understand the benefit of NFTs, the opportunities in the space, I'm sure we will see many more experimental use cases and what you're doing at Sovereign Nature, I'm sure we'll have really exciting presentations during the hackathon, and we'll be exploring more use cases in the future.
Yeah, thank you. And Irina, and the hackathon that was mentioned just now, and also was mentioned in the chat by Alessandro and Greg, Alessandro from Sovereign Nature, who almost all of you, I think, know, has been helping to organize, of course, this big hackathon coming up February 4th through 6th. And if you're not part of that, and I know many of you are, you'll be able to also tune in to the pitches of our teams, as well as the results of the winners of that competition in early February. So stay in touch with us about that. And I do very much believe that, as Greg said, that Unique.Network will be around as part of that hackathon, which will be held in the Odyssey Metaverse, and with an amazing array of teams. We'll be announcing the names of those teams later this week. Ed asked, what's the best space to connect with the Unique community? And I think, Greg, you just answered in Telegram or Discord. We also post our own social media, Sovereign Nature, that is to say, our own Discord in the chat over the next few minutes, just in case you're not on those platforms and following us there, where we can keep some of these conversations going. But again, that YouTube channel is both where we're going to broadcast the results of the hackathon and the pitches of the hackathon, and also where we'll host the video of today's talk with Unique.Network. All right. Any last questions for our guests, or anything from the? Feel free to again go into the weeds with any of the details, of what Greg brought us through in terms of that NFT creation or the collections. Happy to get into the weeds again. Genevieve, yeah.
Just as someone that doesn't code and is horribly frightened by the look of anything that looks similar to it. The way that I've experienced making NFTs has been very much as far as uploading an image or something that I've somewhat digitally created. And I just wanted to know if there's any space in this platform to be able to do that, because it looks like your first steps are really about creating it from, like, as you said, you needed Ubuntu and GitHub and a little maybe JS knowledge, but are you looking to simplify it in terms of that being an option? And is there a way that one could simply upload, some artists are just experimenting with superimposing images that they possibly collect in nature and stuff like that. So I'm just wondering if there's space for integrating in that way.
Yeah, thank you, Genevieve. It's an excellent question, because, and I apologize for targeting this workshop for engineers, for developers, but we certainly have tools that are common, and normal people can use them as well. And that's what we design them for, to be able for people who own individual images, or who design, for artists who'd like to have an image and would like to make an NFT out of it. You will be able to, using these tools, upload an image, specify maybe some properties, and mint an NFT. Just watch our channels. We'll announce when the tools are released.
It's great, and I have a kind of an additional meta question or point to make on this, which is, I also feel now that I've dipped into the creative writing NFT space, which is very active on Twitter and other social media platforms, I find that I'm really eager to connect with designers as well as developers, and some folks more comfortable in this coding world. So I also wonder if there's a community forming, the sort of matchmaking process, whereby, let's say, writer and a designer could meet, or a musician and a, like, let's say a graphic designer could meet, and then triangulate with somebody who knows the back end? And is there a place for folks to meet one another and find like-minded collaborators and conspirators?
Absolutely, yes. Basically, this is my partially my role in Unique.Network, to bring everybody together into one ecosystem. So UX, UI designers, artists, writers, musicians, developers, blockchain developers, and web developers. The best place is our Discord channel. You can actually see different channels there for art, working groups. You can also join our ambassador program. We have fantastic NFT art ambassador based in Lisbon. She is working with Artpool, which is one of the marketplaces powered by Unique.Network. And they organize in-person exhibitions, NFT drops. They have educational series for artists, how to approach NFT space, what are the benefits of being an NFT artist. And we're planning many more initiatives. So please join our Twitter, Discord, Telegram. We'll be doing some amazing announcements very, very soon. We're planning very interesting collaborations with academies, blockchain academies, web academies, as well as NGOs who provide free education for artists, one-on-one mentoring sessions on how to create your art, how to market your art. And also for the companies who work with us, we support with community marketing, joint AMAs, and lots of other things. And all this is just the beginning. So there's many more announcements to come. Great.
Yeah, I think all of us are. It's like we're approaching this future like from all of these different angles, right? And it feels like all of the tools are coming online. And we're just trying to sort of find each other now, and then harness all of that power of these tools to then start to fully engage our audiences, let's say for artists or our users or customers. So, and this peer-to-peer exchange is incredibly exciting. I think we might wrap it up here, unless there's a last. Oh, please, I have one more question, a burning question that one of you has. Please shout it out. Otherwise, I think we might just thank our guests and wrap it here. And again, this video of today's talk will be up online on our YouTube channel. Also, if you see, while we're wrapping up for the next couple of minutes, if you see links in the chat that you want to follow, it's a great time to do those and, put them in your browser so you have those tabs waiting for you. And anything else from Sovereign Nature, folks, Caitlin or Ale, or Catherine, anything else you want to add before we say goodbye to our guests? Great. Well, thank you again so much, Irina and Greg. We will stay in touch with you. We're very proud to be partners with you here at Sovereign Nature Initiative with Unique.Network, and really appreciative walking us through these processes, and look forward to seeing how the future unfolds.
Thank you. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us, and looking forward to the hackathon and continuing collaborations. And please, reach out to us on socials. We're happy to answer your questions or connect you to people who may help you on the journey into NFT space.
We'd love that. Thank you. It's a very generous offer.
All
right, take care. Take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.